How's it going, everyone? It's Kay Lumity here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking over some footage I got at an antique mall today. I like going to antique malls, flea markets, and stuff like that because it gives you a chance to find some of the old video games, old action figures, and stuff like that that you may have had as a kid. So, I went through here, I was looking quite a bit. And I saw some things that were interesting. I saw this, for example. It's the Star Wars like handheld thing that you would use on your Episode 1 figures. You could plug it in, and I actually don't know exactly what it would do. I think it would have like voice lines if you plugged the base of your figure into it and stuff like that. There was also like an entire area just full of Star Trek figures, Micro Machine Star Wars, regular Star Wars figures, just a bit of everything. I had a few Micro Machine Star Wars things growing up. I remember I got a Death Star at a yard sale before. It was like a little flat looking Death Star thing, and the front of the Death Star opened up and it had like a bunch of different levels in it and stuff like that. And I mean, this guy had so much of it. Some of it was pretty cool too. He had like a Bespin Cloud car. He had he had some mini pod racers that you're going to see here in a minute too, which my brother actually had those growing up, and I always loved those things. So seeing them in person again was pretty awesome. But he had a lot of different stuff. He had Bendham figures. He had model kits. You can see even more of those little Micro Machine figures. Just so much stuff. That Age of Interest was a little bit tempting. I don't really collect Star Wars figures a whole lot anymore, but whenever I see them, I do have to check them out. There's those Episode 1 Pod Racer Micro Machine figures. I love those things. Those things are so cool. I was tempted by those as well. $8 a piece, which isn't too bad. But yeah, I don't really collect anything Star Wars anymore these days. It's just not really my thing. It's kind of hard for me to collect anything Star Wars. Ever since Disney got a hold of it, if I'm being honest. But, it is what it is. This stuff is still really cool to see every now and then, and just to see it. And I saw that Boss Nass figure. I'm not going to lie. I almost bought the Boss Nass figure. I've always liked Gungans. When Episode 1 came out, that was like, I think that probably was one of the first Star Wars movies I saw at the time. And I loved Gungans. I loved Jar Jar. I loved all the Gungans. Captain Tarpals. I loved all of them. I was actually surprised that he had all these old Kenner figures too. All these 80s Kenner figures just up on the wall. I mean, these are getting harder and harder to find just kind of out in the wild. And the prices didn't really seem bad on them, so that was pretty cool to see. I used to have that Cloud Car Pilot that was up there. And there's a few other cool ones like that. And this here was awesome to see in person too. I had never seen a Shogun Warrior in person until I saw that. That was $600 for that thing, though. I don't know how much they usually go for, but yikes. I knew I was not going to be picking that up, needless to say. But it was cool to see a Shogun Warrior in person, especially in this booth that kind of just had a bunch of random stuff. Saw a Battlestar Galactica figure there, and I was calling this a My Little Phony because it didn't have like any Hasbro mark or anything, or no like cutie mark or anything. So I was just like, hey, look, it's a My Little Phony. So that was I don't know. I was just kept saying that whenever I saw it, aggravating everyone I was with. It's all these Hebrew versions of Monopoly and Scrabble. Those were kind of cool, more than I would have been willing to pay. If they were like a couple bucks, I may have been tempted to pick them up, but they were like, it's an antique mall, so you're looking at like $20 a piece for them, and not really interested in spending that much for a board game, honestly, especially a used one. But it was still pretty cool to see. Saw a lot of Hot Wheels, which is good for me because I collect Hot Wheels. But I saw those, I was excited, and I also saw a Tow Mater here from Pixar Cars, and I do collect Pixar Cars toys as well, but they wanted $9 for that one, and I already have one Mater, so I wasn't too concerned about picking up another one, but it was still pretty cool to see in person. The glass display cases had quite a bit of, honestly, just kind of junk. Antique malls, you're always going to run into just like a bunch of junk, and within all that junk, you'll find like two good items in a booth. So, but yeah, even here, there's some like a lot of junk, but then you see like a random Thundercats figure there and stuff like that. Like that was kind of cool to see. And then it's kind of weird to see a Thundercats figure like that, and then just see a bunch of like newer release stuff too, like newer Power Rangers, Kylo Ren, for example. Just kind of weird to see that old retro figure just thrown in with all that stuff. But still pretty cool. I did get tempted to get this Toothless, but they wanted $20 just for it, and I was just like, nah, I don't think I'm paying $20 for a Toothless figure. But I do really like the How to Train Your Dragon movies. This was tempted because I love Transformers, and you can see there's a Bumblebee in there, and there's an Optimus Prime. I don't know if they came from like Happy Meals or what, because there's actually a Ratchet in there too, and there's a Hot Wheels that actually is from a Happy Meal. So I'm guessing some of those came from Happy Meals. I don't know if all of them did or not, but I saw the Transformers. I was a little bit tempted by that, but I decided to not pick that one up. But yeah, you can see again just more and more Hot Wheels. These ones were individually marked. Don't really know what the difference is. I don't know about the rarities of Hot Wheels or anything like that. It's not really something I've looked into. I just kind of get the Hot Wheels I like. And these ones, while cool, I wasn't going to spend $8 on a Hot Wheel because I just don't care that much about rarity and stuff like that. I just care about, hey, they're a cheap toy. If I can find one for like $1 or $2, then I'll pick it up. But it has to be something I actually like. I don't care about rarity on them. But I saw this too, and I thought this was cool. That old like Tonka, like figures or the Tonka cars that are in the same like packs as the Hot Wheels. I had never really seen those, or at least not in a long time. So when I saw those, I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool to see again. I don't know if they still make those or not anymore, actually. And then I found this, a big old box of Hot Wheels, $1.49 a piece. So I knew I was going to at least be getting something, and I did find some stuff. These cars are actually cars that I had when I was a kid. So when I saw them, I was like, okay, these are the exact same ones I had as a kid. I'm picking them up. So at least I did find something in this whole flea market. Only spent like, what, $4.50? So not too bad. But thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you next time. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.